I'll call the meeting to order. Roll, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Here.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Here.
Geneseo.
Here.
Groveland.
Here.
Lester. Lima.
Here.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Here.
North Dansville.
Here.
Nunde.
Here.
Ashen.
Here.
Portage. Sparta.
Here.
Springwater.
Here.
West Sparta. York.
Here. Ian, if you would, pledge of allegiance, introduction.
Thank you, Chairman. Today's distinguished veteran for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance is Corporal Adam Bruce Pritchard. He was born in Dansville and is a 2006 graduate of Pechapaw High School. He attended and graduated from the Buildings Trades Program of Geneseo Valley Board of Cooperative Educational Services and went on to serve in the United States Marine Corps from September 24, 2006 until his honorable discharge on October 18, 2014. Corporal Pritchard started his basic training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot at Harris Island in Fort Royal, South Carolina. He continued his military training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and was a certified engineer, equipment mechanic. His additional training was in civil affairs and construction equipment repair. His duty stations include Okinawa, Japan, and will also conducting training exercises in the Philippines. Adam continued his service with the 10th Marines at Marine Corps Base Camp in June, North Carolina, before serving in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan from December 2011 to May of 2012. Upon his return from overseas service, Adam completed the remainder of his military service at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, North Carolina. For his military service, Corporal Pritchard received the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Navy Meritorious Unit Commendation, the Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 1 star, the NATO Medal, ISAF Afghanistan, the National Defense Service Medal, the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, as well as the Expert Rifle and Pistol Qualification badges. Upon returning home, Adam went to work at Geneseo Valley went back to BOCES, completing his Class A CDL license. He worked construction with a family business and as a driver for GT Logistics out of Wayland. He has spent the last 5 years working with Nunde Lumber, where he continues to work today. He's involved in his local community as a member of the Nunde VFW Post 8961 and Nunde American Legion Post 333, where he serves as their finance officer. His hobbies include being outdoors, hunting, fishing, and playing golf. He resides in Nunde with his wife, Alicia, and their 3 children. Adam, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adam, for your service in the United States Marine Corps, the Board of Supervisors is pleased to present you with a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you.
I'd like everyone to please remain standing. We are going to do a moment of silence for our employee of the county who passed. And Ian, I'd like you to please.
Tara Schramm passed away, was an employee of the Department of Social Services over the last year, and before that was an employee of the Center for Nurse and Rehabilitation. She passed away after a battle, and just like to have a moment of silence for her. Thank you very much.
We have approval of the last regular meeting, October 26th, the minutes for your consideration. Anyone have any changes, any corrections that they care to bring forward at this time? Hearing none, I'd look for a motion and a second, please.
Lester.
Sally. Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, that's carried. We do have some public hearings scheduled for this afternoon. I'd like Ian to please make some comments on the first.
Sure, Chairman. Yep, thank you. So local law number C, 2022 overrides the tax levy limit of the county. So in 2012, the New York State law changed with respect to finance, tax, and county law, which prevented counties from going up beyond the New York State imposed limits of 2%, which is really never 2%. Sometimes it's been 2 even. I think maybe once or twice in 10 years. Usually it's 2, 3, 2.5, what have you. In this case, the county for the first time is proposing a budget that overrides the levy limit. Basically, the levy limit is about $500,000 short of what we think we need to raise taxes in the terms of the total levy. So the total levy is about $30.8-ish million. The state's telling us about 30.2, 30.3 is our levy limitation. The board can override that with a 60% vote of the Board of Supervisors. So up for consideration later in the day prior to potential budget consideration passage is the passage of the override vote first.
Thank you, Ian. We'll open all the public hearings and then we'll allow for, participation from the public or the Board of Supervisors. Shannon, if you would please introduce the second hearing for this afternoon.
Thank you, Chairman. Local Law D-2022 implements an adjusted weighted vote plan for Livingston County Board of Supervisors based on the population count of the 2020 census. Said plan was created in consultation with the Center for Governmental Research and provides fair distribution of voting power among board members.
Thank you. Angela Ellis, please, public hearing number 3.
Thank you. This is the public hearing that we do annually for the additions to the agricultural district program. As you may be aware, effective September 17th of 2004, the New York State Agricultural Markets Law was amended with Section 303B, which allows for parcels to be added into the agricultural districts on an annual basis. The County Board of Supervisors designated the month of September as the 30-day annual period for submission of petitions by landowners to join an existing agricultural district. This year, the board received 1 petition for inclusion of predominantly viable agricultural land within a certified agricultural district. Pursuant to New York State Agricultural Markets Law, the County Agricultural and Environmental Protection Board conducted its review of the petition on October 20th, 2022, and determined that 2 of the parcels proposed for inclusion in the agricultural district consisted predominantly of viable agricultural land, and that inclusion of these parcels in the district would assist in maintaining a viable agricultural industry within the agricultural district program. These 2 parcels comprise approximately 113.4 acres and are located in the town of Geneseo. Today's public hearing is to allow public comments and consideration of the petition to modify the district and comment on the recommendation of the Ag and Environmental Protection.
Thank you, Angela. And Ian, the 4th hearing, please.
Bear with me, the 4th one's a little bit longer than the first 3. So I'm here to present the tentative budget, which then triggers the actual public hearing on the spending plan for the next year. The first public hearing that I spoke of is the other necessary public hearing that relates to the tax cap override. So I'm just going to briefly review some of the elements of the 2023 budget for purposes of the public hearing. These are the same budget objectives that go into the budget development process every year. The last couple are, the third one and the last 2 are a little bit different than years past. So the third one is comply with the tax cap. We've always complied with the tax cap. We're still complying with it this year. We're just exercising our right as a board to do the override. So we're following the regulations, but we're saying that we need to do the override. We're not relying on American Rescue Plan Act, cash infusion, one-time dollars. And we're also looking to, as part of the spending plan, address recruitment and retention issues that any local government entity is facing across the nation. We are as well, and we're doing it through some, targeted investments and resources in our people and in our programs. So we always have, this slide looks different every year because we always have different things that drive the budget up or down, balance or rebalance, plus or minus. The single biggest issue is inflation. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I mean, experience at the town level or personal, pocketbook issues. But we have vehicles that used to cost a certain amount of money, now cost more. We used to be able to get them in a couple of months, now we get them in a year. Utility costs have gone up. Gas for our vehicles, we have a large fleet that has gone up. Supply and commodity pricing has gone up. And then assessed values too, which is a major impetus to talk about the tax cap override. Assessed values have gone up considerably, almost $1 billion across the county. I'll go through that in just a second. And then employment expenses. So we're a very people-heavy organization. You can't automate anything that the county government workforce does. We're not candidates for robots, although maybe some people say we have some robots in the workforce, but we're not candidates for that. We have a very people-centered organization. People deliver services. Our people that are residents expect us to have to deliver services, and those people cost money. And so salary cost of living adjustments are in here. We have benefits that I would consider kind of that are old or pre-existing that we have cost increases for. We have benefits that are new or additional budget entries that we have costs to now incur and budget for. And of course, we have the pension expenses as a result of being a public employee. Sales tax is a budget driver in terms of having the ability to rely on that a little bit in the last couple of years as a major revenue generator. It now far outpaces our property tax levy. There was not too long ago, a time frame where those two were almost equal. Now it far outpaces it. And then the CNR overall financial condition up through today was a major source of commentary and discussion as far as the budget process, as the board members know, certainly the department officials know as well. So kind of how are things going? I'm not going to review these in depth, but essentially this is kind of the same old stuff, but in a good way. So the status quo is one that is in good condition financially. We're well heeled, we're well positioned, a clean audit opinion. We have a fund balance level that's very strong. We have multiple millions of dollars left in unused American Rescue Plan Act dollars that have to be used by December 2024, or at least appropriated. So that's a good thing. Some highlights. So the tax rate is slated to go down considerably. That rate decrease is probably the largest year-to-year rate decrease in at least over a decade. It's going down to $6.46 per thousand. As I'll say, if you were the lucky 12% of people who had no change to their assessed value or somehow went down in assessed value, you likely be getting less of a county tax bill next year. The assessed value again increased almost $1 billion with a B million dollars, so $984 million. So that is causing the tax levy to increase by about $1.36 million. Back to my tax cap override, the state is basically telling us we can only go up about $800,000 in our formula. So what we're really doing is we're actually getting pretty close to restoring plus about $15 for the average homeowner, single-family homeowner, to 2021 levels. And why I say that is we went down in 2022. There's a joke that no one remembers when we go down, they only remember when we go up. That's true, it's not a joke, it's reality. But as I guess a reminder that we did. So the board at the time chose all the financial parameters and the scenarios and the elements at play that go into this dictated that that was the right thing to do at the time. Went down on the rate, down on the levy, and basically gave a temporary tax cut. We're now essentially restoring that because again, we're basically saying here's where we need to be. So that's the kind of 3-year plan. This is what everything looks like. It may be difficult to see, but basically the bottom line is the entirety of all the spending in the whole budget, all program services, departments, divisions, rolls up to about $180 million worth of appropriations, which is estimated expenses. There's another 140 million-ish in expected revenues, sales taxes included in that, state aid, federal aid, chargebacks, reimbursements, you name it, appropriated fund balance, and then the gap is whatever we need, we think we need, and we're proposing to say we need from the taxpaying public to balance the budget, which is $30.8 million. So that's what the budget is. About 70% goes to the general fund, which is kind of the catch-all, everything that's not in a separate fund. A little under 10% is county road machinery, which is otherwise known as the county highway department, the CNR nursing home, workforce development through the federal government grants, water and sewer funds, workers' compensation, et cetera, is in that miscellaneous. So here's just a reinforcement of some of those facts that I previously articulated. The tax rate is going down, the tax money is going up. We will have some people that will say, you know, taxes are being cut or whatever, that will present a budget like this. I'm not one of those people. Taxes are going up, the rate is going down, but taxes are going up, and they're going up for reasons that I previously alluded to. And then assessment went up a lot. So again, 4% of assessed values were down, 8% were no change, and the rest, approximately 88%, went up by various amounts. The budget backdrop on sales tax is that it's our largest individual revenue center. The yellowish tint is indicative of the quarterly performance in the present year. So what that means is we continue to outpace the year before. 2020 was a bit of a blip because of COVID and some impacts. Not the blip, frankly, that we thought it was going to be. There was a significant rebound at the tail end of 2020 into 2021. And then in 2022, the fourth quarter performance is not yet loaded. This is only for 3 quarters, but you can see that the quarterly performance is outpacing the previous 2 years. So we've embedded into the budget some of those returns that we expect to go increasing. I will talk about CNR specifically, but just some examples, really just illustrative of some of the things that we've got going on, both inside the county and outside the county. Just a couple of things to highlight. Certainly, Light Up Livingston, we've got another grant application out there for the countywide broadband. We're looking at a water expansion project that's probably the largest single capital project investment in the county's history with a partnership with the Water and Sewer Authority. One of the largest kind of non-county, nonprofit or private sector developments in recent history is this proposed Live Well project, which has significant traction. It's making very good inroads. And certainly the county, for the first time, has created a position and invested serious dollars in countywide training and professional development. Let me talk specifically about the nursing home. The nursing home is in a situation that is where the reserve levels have been depleted, so we had built up a sizable cash cushion over there, which was years of very, frankly, we didn't really know what was going to happen, so we really needed the cash position that we ended up having accrued over that time. But we have completed those reserves in part due to COVID, the impact, in part due to occupancy not rebounding, and in part due to the utilization of agency, kind of like privatized staff, which is our own staff. So we're changing that, but the 2021, it's actually 2020, 21, and 22, they relied heavily on the reserves, so almost like relying on your savings account to pay your mortgage if your checking account wasn't being regularly replenished with some sort of recurring salary or compensation. Same thing kind of happened with the nursing home. It happens with public nursing homes. We're not alone in that regard. All public and private nonprofit experience similar circumstances. So that's kind of how things happen. That's a nursing home. Below that is not the nursing home, obviously. That's that ship that got stuck in the canal. And that's the analogy I kind of use a lot, which is, it took a while to get unstuck. So we've been going through a series of iterations. We didn't get that way overnight with the financial downturn, and we won't overnight get us back up to the financial performance that we're used to seeing over there. But we're definitely getting unstuck, and that's kind of a positive development to report on as part of the budget process. So we have significant occupancy gains of 8.5%. That has been a sustained census number for CNR, we have a new director coming on board. Again, bottom line improvements, MOAs, job fairs, something called the VAP application is extremely, has a great amount of potential for the county. So we have a multi-million-dollar grant application into the state for kind of a transformative funding stream for nursing homes that are in some level of financial distress. So we do qualify for that, so we are seeking that moving forward. So capital improvement plan is not necessarily a component of the budget that the board approves. They approve it separately, but it has a lot of interconnections to it. It's a 5-year plan. We have balances that are over about $6 million in all the CIP projects, and we have about 70 total projects in the house. So to provide the kind of concluding overview, a budget's balanced in county government. This is a balanced budget. It's not necessarily the case at the federal or state level, but we can say with certainty this is definitely a balanced budget. It does have a decrease in the tax rate, a decrease in the tax levy. That's the reasons why I described. All of our operations are supported. So that includes the nursing home, it includes all of our non-mandated services, it includes all, of course, our mandated services. We also have a series of contributions that we make at a sizable clip to non-county partnerships that we have not only sustained in this budget, we've increased in part in some cases. The CNR has gap financing, so what that means is the CNR budget's about $31 million. There's about $25 million in revenue to support those operations. That delta, that difference of $6 million is made up from existing balances in the general fund with the hopes that we're going to, over the course of time, continue to crack away at that difference that exists. If you remember in years past, that nursing home was built with a delta difference of about $3.5 million on a moving forward basis. So we're trying to get back to that, and then of course lowering it. And this budget certainly supports some benefit and compensation enhancements that this board has heretofore been very supportive of advancing for the county workforce, and I appreciate their support on those recommendations. That's also included in this budget. And we have finally contingencies in place if you know what hits the fan, we'll still be okay. People are used to seeing some variation of this image, which I often include in some of my presentations, both at conversations with the county, County Government 101 in the schools, and then the budget presentation, which is kind of the true life cycle providing services that you all are involved with at the county government level. Nowhere in the nation, not New York State, not the nation, does the level of complexity, robust service provision, the breadth and the scope of service provision that exists in county government that doesn't exist anywhere else in the nation, like it exists in the New York County government and like it exists, frankly, in the Livingston County government, because we're even more unique. We really think we're unique. We have a lot of unique characters, but we're very unique in county government because of some of the things that we run: hospice, senior nutrition program, mental health, emergency medical services, mental health. There are certain divisions and departments and operations that we run that not everybody else runs. So this department funds all of those things. And just a final thank you to the members of the county workforce, many of which are represented here today, for all their work in arriving at what I think is a palatable bottom line overall as far as appropriations and revenues and the requisite mix that we need to strike and the balance that we need to strike for our taxpayers. So, thank you.
Thank you, and I'll declare all 4 hearings open at this time. I'll ask if there's any member of the public wishing to come forward, please come forward, sign in at the podium, and can weigh in on any of the 4 public hearings that we've opened. Ask if there's any members of the Board of Supervisors who would care to comment on any of the public hearings that are open at this time. Keep these hearings open to the remainder of the meeting, and towards the end, we'll close the hearings, and I'll ask again if there's any comments at that time. We have a couple of communications, please, Michelle.
County Administrator Ian Coyle filed the proposed 2023 Livingston County budget on November 1st, 2022. Receipt of a verified notice of claim in the matter of Jamal King versus Livingston County et al.
Thank you, Michelle. I'd like to ask Bill Fuller to please introduce 2 future local laws. Consider the public hearing.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to introduce local law number E 2022, providing a partial exemption from real property taxes for persons with disabilities with limited income. On August 8th, the governor signed legislation to increase the income limit to a 50% exemption for both the persons with disabilities with limited income and the senior citizen exemption, to $29,000 to $50,000. Local law number E 2022 would increase our current income limit of $20,000 to $28,000 with 50% exemption, and it would increase our maximum income limit of $28,399.99 to $36,399.99 for the 5% exemption per the sliding scale provided in real property tax law 459C. I'm also introducing local law F 2022, providing a partial exemption from real property taxes to certain eligible senior citizens. This local law will provide the same income limits, $28,000 to $36,399.99 for the senior citizens exemption, per the sliding scale in real property tax law section 467. These proposed income limits were determined by using the cost of living adjustments from Social Security benefits from 2014 to 2023, which will bring us up to date from the last time the governor changed the limits. These are calculated using the Consumer Price Index. The proposed new income limits represent a 28% increase in the maximum allowable income.
Thank you, Ben. Next, we have abstract of claims for consideration.
Mr. Chairman, I move this abstract of claims and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or discussion on these claims against the county? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo. Groveland. Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted.
We do have a few resolutions this afternoon on the preferred agenda.
Appointing members to the Livingston County Board of Health, Dr. Douglas McKenzie, Dr. Ashen Sheik, and Marilee Walker. Proclaiming the month of November as National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. Providing for public hearing for Agricultural District Number 3 and referring it to the Livingston County Agricultural and Farmland Protection Board. Appointing members to the Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority Board, Michael Falk and Ted Saunders. Providing for public hearing on proposed local law number E 2022, providing a partial exemption for real property taxes to persons with disabilities who have limited income. Providing for public hearing on proposed local law number F 2022, providing a partial exemption for real property taxes to certain eligible senior citizens. Appointing members to the Livingston County Workplace Violence Prevention Committee, Andrea Bailey and Rachel Merrick.
Thank you, Michelle. Is there any discussion on any of these resolutions? Hearing none, I look for a motion in a second to bring it to a vote.
Move Schuster. Dissolve second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Roll on this, please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted.
Next, we're going to have some resolutions that are going to require a separate vote.
Mrs. Walker, authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation. Worldwide Travel Staffing Limited, WorkFit Medical PLLC, MedCore Staffing Inc., and Highland Staffing LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Are there any questions or concerns on any of these contracts? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following grant award contract for the Livingston County Department of Health, Health Research, Inc.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contracts for the Livingston County Department of Health. Avon Nursing Home, Karen Conway, New York State ARC, Inc., Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, Wyoming Counties Chapter, doing business as ArcGlow, Kickstart.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Are there any questions on any of these contracts? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris,
Aye.
North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Establishing the Livingston County Department of Health immunization fee schedule effective October 1st, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Are there any questions or concerns on this new fee schedule? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris,
Aye.
North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the Commissioner of Social Services to sign the following contract, Livingston County Attorney's Office.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Is there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris,
Aye.
North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Office of Workforce Development. Catherine S. Apostolaris.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker. Are there any questions or concerns on this contract? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris,
Aye.
North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Mr. Deming, authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following pilot agreement for Livingston County, Dimension Renewable Energy.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Are there any questions or concerns on this pilot agreement? Hearing none, the roll please, Michelle.
Avon,
Aye.
Caledonia, Canisius,
Aye.
Geneseo,
Aye.
Groveland,
Aye.
Lester, Lima,
Aye.
Livonia, Mount Morris,
Aye.
North Dansville,
Aye.
Nunde,
Aye.
Ashen,
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
Ayes 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following pilot agreement for Livingston County. Next Era Energy Resources LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Are there any questions on this pilot agreement? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Evan.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Planning Department. Microwave Networks, Inc., MNI.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Are there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following contract for the Livingston County Probation Department. MedLab, Inc.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Are there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign the following grant award contract for the Livingston County Sheriff's Office, New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Does anyone have any questions or concerns on this grant award contract? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Amending, Mr. Knapp, amending the 2022 Livingston County budget. Board of Supervisors, Purchasing, and Sheriff's Office, there are 6.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or concerns on these budget amendments? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing transfer of funds, training and professional development.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Establishing an account, planning.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll go please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the purchase of one 2023 Chevrolet Traverse LS through New York State OGS mini bid number 11633 and New York State OGS contract number 23166 for the Livingston County Board of Supervisors. Jim Barnard Chevrolet.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this purchase? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing lease agreement with Harmony and Joy Child Care, Inc., doing business as Pride and Joy Care, Child Care of Geneseo.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this lease agreement? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Approving apportionment of mortgage tax receipts for the period of April 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Approving estimated 2023 sales tax distribution.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Providing for levy of erroneous taxes to be charged to towns.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the chairman of the Livingston County Board of Supervisors to sign an administrative services agreement for Livingston County, Livingston County Land Bank Corporation.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing a supplemental professional services contract for construction inspection and construction support services of a federal state aid bridge rehabilitation project, New York State DOT PIN number 4LV004, Stones Falls Road over Mill Creek, BIN 3316960, Town of North Danville, Copley Designs Group.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the purchase of one new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe for the Livingston County Sheriff's Office, Deneuer Chevrolet Inc.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this purchase? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the purchase of one new 2023 Dodge Charger for the Livingston County Sheriff's Office, Robert Green Truck Division.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or discussion on this purchase? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Appointing Director of Long-Term Care for the Livingston County Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation, Sherry Hutchinson.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or discussion on this appointment? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Adopting the 2023 miscellaneous pay rates.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions on these miscellaneous pay rates? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Adopting salaries of the employees of the County of Livingston for the year 2023 and establishing certain compensation and benefits for other employees.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Establishing ratios for the year 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage, Sparta,
Aye.
Springwater,
Aye.
West Sparta,
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the Livingston County Real Property Tax Services Director to add taxes on various 2023 town tax rolls.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing assessment roll footings, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any, is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing the Livingston County Real Property Tax Services Director to apply corrections for taxes on various 2023 town tax rolls.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen. Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Directing the Livingston County Director of Real Property Tax Services to spread unpaid water charges and unpaid sewer charges on the 2023 tax rolls, Livingston County Water and Sewer Authority.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted.
So we do have the four public hearings still open. I'll ask again if there's any member of the public wishing to comment on any of these public hearings, please come forward at this time. Ask if there's any supervisor wishing to comment on the hearings that are open at this time. Hearing none, I'll declare the public hearing is closed. I'm going to ask for a motion, move the override of the tax levy limit for Livingston County for the 2023 fiscal year, and also to move the adoption of this local law for a vote at this time.
Move from Geneseo.
Second, Walker.
Thanks. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Michelle?
So the roll will be for the adoption of local law C 2022, overriding the tax levy limit for Livingston County for the year 2023 fiscal year. Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater. West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted.
Next, we'll follow the same procedure for the weighted vote, the apportionment based on the latest census. Motion in a second if there's no other discussion.
Zalba makes a motion.
Second.
Good motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Michelle, please.
This resolution will be adoption of local law D 2022, updating apportionment for the Livingston County Board of Supervisors on a weighted vote basis. Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen. Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. This local law is also a permissive referendum, so.
Thank you. Now we'll continue on with the remaining resolutions.
Sure. Mr. Deming, adopting seeker negative declaration for 303B additions to existing agricultural districts.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Is there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia.
Aye.
Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland. Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Approving 303B additions to existing agricultural districts.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Deming. Any discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester. Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York. I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Mr. Knapp, adopting budget for fiscal year 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Is there any discussion on our budget for next year? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted. Authorizing appropriation of 2023 adopted budget.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution and ask for unanimous consent.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Are there any questions or discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, roll please, Michelle.
Avon.
Aye.
Caledonia. Canisius.
Aye.
Geneseo.
Aye.
Groveland. Lester.
Aye.
Lima.
Aye.
Livonia. Mount Morris.
Aye.
North Dansville.
Aye.
Nunde.
Aye.
Ashen.
Aye.
Portage. Sparta.
Aye.
Springwater.
Aye.
West Sparta.
Aye.
York.
Aye.
I 1738, absent 271, adopted.
We did have one appointment this afternoon, please.
It's to the Livingston County Youth Board, and it's Andrea Richard, representing CASA, and it's at the pleasure.
Thank you. Ian, do you have any updates to the board?
No other updates, Chairman, nope.
Open it up for any other business from any supervisors at this time.
Move to adjourn from Geneseo.
Second, Westbrook.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Meeting stands adjourned.